go to Derby. It is very miserable and rainy outside, and I got caught in it this morning taking my little boy to nursery. He's just doing like a couple of days over the summer holidays, and it'll be really helpful in allowing me to just get a few bits done. And this week it's a big one. This week I'm actually preparing for London, so it's probably the biggest market out of all of them that I'm doing this month. So I've got a bit to replenish from Derby at the weekend, which still went really well. Derby was good. It was a little bit slow, but I still managed to come home, and it was, you know, it was decent, it was okay. But London is meant to be quite busy. So I've taken note of what was a good seller on Saturday at Derby. I replenished everything, and I've had to like repack everything as well, because this time I have a half table, so Sarah and I will be sharing a table. So obviously that means 3 foot by 2 foot each. We'll be on the same table, but we'll be sharing the space. So I needed to repack quite cleverly, because we're also going to get the train down to London with all of our stuff. We're going to take the big wagon, and hopefully it'll be nice and smooth for us. But yeah, we've had to think smart about what to take, how to take it, how much to take, and also where's it going to go on the table. So we've both had another practice run through. Very happy with my setup again. My pin display will be a bit different, so if I just pop you there. So Sarah was actually a babe, and she's made me this pin flag with an example of each of my pins on. Because space is obviously very limited, I can't have my usual card, not a card stand, my enamel pin stand. So this is going to be hanging up, and if anybody would like a pin, they can just tell me which one they'd like, and I'll have them pre-prepared under the table, nice and safe. But I'm hoping this works for people and they can still see all of the pins on offer. It just means that I'm not taking up space on the table. This can hang up on the metal grid, and it's got one of each of all my pins on. I can't take credit for this idea. It was Sarah's idea, and then she was kind enough to use some dead stock fabric that she had. It's lovely and thick. It's like a thick canvasy sort of cottony material. She went and got a dowel from the hardware store, and yeah, she made it for me like an absolute babe that she is. So thank you, Sarah. And yeah, I'll link her shop below again if you'd like to go and visit, because honestly, having a buddy to do these markets with has been so nice, and her work, just our work sits together really nicely, and I just it's a much better experience for me. I've had to put the light on. It's so dark in here today, and just my hair is just it's wild. It's raining again, that's probably why it's gone so dark. I really miss my little boy today. He's gone to nursery today, just for like a summer holiday session, but I just miss him because last night he had a fever and it was so weird. He went over 38 on the thermometer, and we gave him some Calpol just to bring it down. We were prepared for a sickness again. We were prepared for him to get poorly. He was very floppy, very sleepy, and I slept in bed with him last night just so that I could keep an eye on his temperature, and luckily it did come down through the night. But that meant this, like today, I didn't know what was going to happen, but because he wasn't sick, he was eating, he's not had diarrhea or anything like that. He's been honestly absolutely fine, bar being a bit hot. And he's fine today. Nursery haven't rang me. He's absolutely fine. So yeah, who knows what that was all about. And it has been getting warmer again. It's quite muggy today. It's not very nice, but yeah, I miss him. So what I've been doing today, just whilst he's out of the house, is I have an absolute stack here. I've still got more to do, but I've got lots of greeting cards to replenish my greeting card stand with, because they were one of my best sellers at the market on Saturday in Derby. So I've done lots. There's so many here, you can't actually see just how many, and there's probably going to be, yeah, probably another third to come. So I'm rinsing my printer at the moment. It's probably thinking, what's she doing? But I'm going to take this with me tomorrow night, because on Wednesday night Sarah and I do work night together anyway, so we always like swap ideas and, you know, just have a bit of an encouragement session, have a bit of a, you know, bouncing off each other, sharing what we've been up to, what we'd like to do. And yeah, this week we're prepping for the London markets, so I'll take these with me with my guillotine and my greeting card, envelopes and cellos, and I will get them packaged up for you, ready for Saturday. That's what I've been doing.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. Think about you all the time, morning, evening, and night. Such a wonderful day. Forgo. Give up everything that I own. Give it all up now, just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I just thought I'd catch up in a similar format to what we did in my last vlog. So I'm going to just show you what I'm up to today and over the next few days, and just chat in the background and just tell you what's been going on. So London at the weekend was absolutely incredible. I'm still absolutely honoured to have been accepted into this summer's Illustrators Fair. I really hope that we can go back for Christmas. That would be absolutely incredible. Obviously this time I shared a table with Sarah just to split the costs in half, which was actually really effective, and because of that we both did really well. We did a couple of practice setups before we actually you know, got there on the day, just to make sure that we could fit everything in, it didn't look too crowded, and that it was easily, you could tell the difference between the two sides of our table, so that was really handy. So I woke up at 5 AM on Saturday morning. It wasn't too bad. I just had a coffee, got myself sort of ready, and then Sarah actually picked me up this time about 6:30 so that we could get a 20 to 8 train, I think it was. Getting on the train with the wagon, not a good idea. I spoke to a few people about this idea and everyone was like, oh, you'll be fine. But no, when you get onto the train, you have to take everything out and you have to then collapse the wagon. It's the same as if you have a wheelchair or a pushchair, anything like that, you have to collapse it down. And when you've got lots and lots of boxes or bags, and you then, it's just a faff. It was such a faff. I think next time, if I ever get on a train again, hopefully we can go back to London for Christmas, fingers crossed. But if there's ever an occasion where I have to use public transport to get to a location, I need to invest in a very large suitcase just to make my life a hell of a lot easier. Wagons work great if you're travelling in the car, or you can, you know, park up somewhere and get to the venue on foot. So for Derby, we parked up like 5 minutes away and just walked the rest of the way with the wagon, and we're intending on doing that at the weekend with Birmingham as well. But for London, just the wagon on a train, worst thing we could have done, possibly. It was a nightmare. And then our train was delayed a little bit coming home, probably about 20 minutes. It wasn't very long, but that meant by the time I got into bed, it was about 11:30. So it was a very long day. And then I was awoken very early the next morning at about 5 again to a very unsettled, very unhappy little boy. Obviously I didn't see him the day before because he was asleep when I left the house, and he was asleep again when I got home. So I saw him, I checked on him, but I didn't spend any time with him. And then on the Sunday he was actually really poorly. He was sick in the morning again, and my brain just sort of snapped, and I was like, right, what is going on here? Like, why are we being so sick on and off? Because as you'll probably know by now, if you've watched my last couple of vlogs, I've said that my son has been sick on and off quite a few times. And initially it was like, it seemed like, you know, just a typical toddler virus, that something is picked up from nursery. Just, you know, the frequency and consistency of everything just wasn't adding up. And there was spells between each episode where he was totally fine, and then randomly out of nowhere he'd be sick. And we can say hand on heart that he'd had no new foods, nothing new to drink. We were absolutely certain that he'd not swallowed anything, but I rang 111 and I explained his symptoms, and they said, yeah, he needs to be seen. We had to take a bucket with us and so many supplies and changes of clothes and wipes and the rest of it. We just needed to like try and catch it as it was happening. But we got to the hospital, we were seen really quickly, and one of the doctors there tested his urine, and it turned out that he had an infection. So we don't know how he's got an infection, a UTI. We don't know how it's, you know, happened. I guess it's just one of those things. But he was sick again on the way home, quite violently, in the car again, so it's just typical, isn't it? And then we got home, we actually got prescribed some antibiotics, and with it being a Sunday, that not many pharmacies were open, so my husband actually ran into town to try and get his exercise in for the day and also try and get the antibiotics. And to be honest, he runs faster than he can drive just because of the route that he can take. So he only took like 5 minutes to get into town, and then quickly run around the pharmacies, and then 5 minutes to run back again. He was so quick, but it turned out nowhere in town had the antibiotics that we needed. So he came home, my son wanted cuddles with daddy, so I ended up getting in the car and I drove out to Leicester to go and test some more pharmacies to go and see if I could get these antibiotics. 2 more pharmacies later, I managed to find the antibiotics. I was so tired. I hadn't really eaten very much during Saturday at the market. I think I didn't have breakfast because I'm not really a breakfasty kind of person, and I'd been snacking through the day, but it was so busy, which was great, and I kept ducking underneath the table to like have a bite of my sandwich. which was amazing. I had like a no chicken pesto thing from Waitrose across the road, and it was, oh, posh Waitrose sandwich. Who is she? But it was delicious. It was honestly one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. And I had, you know, like just cereal bar type things throughout the day, but nothing sort of substantial. And then the next morning, obviously, we were thrown full pelt into sickness and having to manage with our son. And again, I didn't have any breakfast. How silly of me. And then because we were out and I was driving around Leicester, when I went into Boots to their pharmacy, I went and just grabbed another oat bar because I was like, I need to eat something. Got home again, and my son was flat out on the sofa. He was just completely zonked, completely just out of it. So I rang 111 again, and I just said I'm really not happy with how he is. We went back to the hospital again just to get him checked over again, and he actually has another doctor's appointment today, just to get him checked over, because after taking the antibiotics he is much better. He's like really perked up, and he's actually at nursery today. He's like improved that much since taking the antibiotics, and I really needed the work time. It's the summer holidays here now, so I don't have any childcare apart from these banked hour things that I've got for nursery. So this is his second, and he's got one more next week, and then that's it for the rest of the summer holidays. So I really need to like squeeze these hours in while I can, and it just feels very much like I can't stop to come up for air at the moment. The main thing is he's much better. He's so much better, otherwise I wouldn't have sent him to nursery today. We mulled it over this morning, and I've got to pick him up early today anyway for his doctor's appointment. So I've got, you know, 2-3 hours just to try and get some bits done and restock some bits ready for Birmingham at the weekend, and then pack everything away again. I need to catch up on some Patreon stuff and some video stuff, like vlog stuff, and just, you know, little bits of admin here and there. But I'm just so tired. My husband's told me to take a nap today, so I think I'm going to just spend an hour in the studio this morning trying to get a few bits done. Depending on where I get to and how much I get done, I then might have an early lunch and then take a nap, and then go and pick my son up at 1 o'clock, 1:30. But yeah, it's just, if this vlog is all over the place, I do apologise. I've just taken you along for the ride, this mad chaotic thing we call life. But isn't it great to be alive? Isn't it great to be experiencing all of these things? And it's hard and it's tiring, but I can't help but feel so blessed. I get to go to these markets and meet so many lovely new people. I get to connect with more small businesses and find new customers and just have new experiences. My family's at home waiting for me. It's such a shame that he's sick and he's ill, but the main thing is he's okay, and I get to spend that time with him. And I'm forever grateful that the job that I have allows me to completely give myself to my son, especially when he's so sick. And it does mean catching up, you know, madly when I have those slots of time. When I'm able to catch up, I have to really go for it. But I am still just forever grateful that I get to call this my job. So thank you for supporting my work. So hopefully I'll have prepped for Birmingham in that segment of chit chat that you've just had. Right, should we do Birmingham this time?
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Sleep, hear the crickets looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.